You know what it is. High noon right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, all across the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. My name's Mitch Ellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Wirtz is here and making his return after a triumphant Human Wednesday. He hit them all straight. He's Mason Crosby.
Yes, I did actually hit the ball really well yesterday. I could not. It's trouble. It's troubling, but I shot a 76, so it was a good day. Good day in the cold elements. It was windy and chilly.
Who'd you roll with? Anybody we know?
Former 8th grade offensive line coach Trevor Madsen, and then a former baseball player. So oddly enough, you'll probably know the name because you know all obscure sports and especially baseball.
Yeah.
Drew Sutton.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he played he was a utility guy.
Yes, yep.
Yeah. He was talking about catching in the bullpen for Wakefield when he was with the Red Sox.
That's right.
And he said he had to turn sideways because he just like the ball, how it would come off. He was like, I didn't want to get hit in the hitting the junk. So
yeah, nobody who does.
Honestly. No one does. Yeah. I don't think anyone does. I mean, does that segue to our next our first topipe?
Definitely somebody out there who does.
Somebody does.
It's like that guy from Pitch Perfect, who's in the older group where he's like, hit it. He says, Fat Amy, hit me in the.
That's right.
It's like, yeah, it's just weird.
There's crazy people out there.
Oh, for sure. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. It is Packers Broncos week. We'll get into that. Justis Mosqueda, Acme Packing Company, will join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. Celtics Bucks tonight. See if the Bucks can do something there. Badgers basketball team decided not to make the trip to Lincoln last night.
Yeah, what happened?
They were tied. They were tied 21-21, and then they decided to go home. So they played the first 10 minutes, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're good. We're good here."
Early, not often.
But we got the breaking news yesterday, and I think we got to start here. My Sharona. Sharon Moore, former. I don't know. There's no rules today.
There's no rules.
We've established that.
There's no rules anymore.
I've decided we're just going to do our thing.
Michigan football coaches have decided there are no rules. I mean, just do whatever you want there.
They have exactly.
Yeah.
Well, how about the fact that
what the hell
you are now the biggest Michigan football coach scumbag? That took a lot.
Took a lot.
Wow.
I mean,
you're not
sure
wrong.
looks.
You're
like
getting
that.
up there in Big Ten, maybe one of the top Big Ten ones. We still got to look at the Penn State.
Yeah,
guys.
Urban Meyer was in the NFL. He wasn't in the
Right.
Big Ten anymore.
You're putting Urban Meyer. I'm talking about
yeah. I mean,
the old Nittany Lions
Yeah,
over
Well,
there.
that's a whole nother level.
That's a whole nother level.
I mean,
so
but
that exists on its own, and then
but
the
this one's
dirtbag
not.
guys.
This one's not a good level. Sharon Moore, we get the breaking news that he's fired. Then we get the breaking news that he's arrested. He was making boom boom with the administrative assistant, who, by the way, somebody sent me that last year she made $58,000, and this year she was making.
I
90
stalled
grand.
the number. Yeah, she bumped up.
So first of all, she was a paid prostitute. So that's not okay.
I mean, yes, it makes it way worse that there was a raise while this was going on as well. That makes the whole scandal even bigger because, what you say, maybe extreme in those words, but for lack of better, from their perspective, it's you paid her more while y'all were having an affair. I mean, that is crazy.
He's expected in court tomorrow. He remains in custody as a suspect. There's no suspicion. It's in an alleged assault. He's expected to appear in court for arraignment on Friday. The Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office said it does not expect a decision Thursday on whether to file criminal charges or not. Authorities have yet to release details about the arrest, other to say that he remains under investigation. Man, Mason, this is just dirty all over the place. And
that's rough.
He was not before this happened yesterday. I don't think there was anything bad about him. Right? We thought he was a good guy. He was a good coach. They may not have lost exactly how they wanted to, but until this year, they were beating Ohio State every year.
Yeah.
He seemed to be. They just got what? What's the quarterback's name? Underwood?
Bryce Underwood.
Yep,
Yeah, you want to talk about a guy born on third base. Sharon Moore. Like he's 39 years old. He could have been the head coach at Michigan for the next 30 years if he wanted. He went 9-3 with the 18-year-old quarterback, so everyone was excited about what was going to happen in the future. And he's got one of the for sure 10, maybe 5 best jobs in the entire sport.
Yeah. We were discussing this. So my question, Tommy, as we were talking about this, because you're like, oh, Michigan, a big, like this is the desired job with Lane Kiffin. And like, does this open up now where it's like, can Lane Kiffin be an option for Michigan? But in my mind, I'm like, they brought this guy up through the ranks. Yeah, like you said, started on third base, and they were paying him $5 million a year. Good number, but not the top number. You have Jim Harbaugh there. All the stuff. Maybe it was because of the scandal that had happened, the cheating stuff,
right?
And the sign stealing, that it was like, did anyone want to touch it? Because didn't Sharon Moore, he had to do 2-game suspension because of that, right?
He also filled in.
So it was just kind of like, you're our patsy. Like, we'll put you here. This job at the moment is not desirable. Do you think any coach, though, wants to go take that job right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, even with all this stuff, like they're like under the microscope every day now.
I think so.
100%. Even a bigger personality that could come in and do your best effort to suppress this story. And Michigan, I think, does the right thing.
Why did they go this direction after Harbaugh? Why didn't they go and get like one of the top candidates in the coaching world?
My theory would
makes no sense to me,
because they didn't have a good plan when Harbaugh was leaving. Sharon Moore was the easiest / cheapest, plus was a part of the same
up-and-coming
culture that they were going for in Michigan during this entire stretch. And now they have this investigation that has been ongoing for quite some time, which is also an ethical dilemma now, because they waited specifically until after signing day to let this all come out. Like, the reason why I think that this job,
everyone's got to jump ship,
is going to be so desirable is because Michigan wants to make such a big splash to get rid of this story on top of it too. Where if they were to bring in a guy like a Kalen DeBoer, who is maybe a big enough personality to try and get rid of this, look at how much of a dirtbag Sharon Moore is, like, they can bring in that guy. They have the capital and the revenue and the brand of college football in order to do that right now.
I'm just saying, you better be above reproach in this. Whoever comes in. Whoever comes in, I mean, the microscope is going to be locked in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, there is no
Deion?
Yeah, Deion's a great idea.
Deion might
exactly.
I said they either have
honestly, he's straight laced. I mean, you can't say anything.
He might be crazy, but he's straight laced.
Yeah, he's a personality, but he does things, he does things really well, and he does it the right way.
Well, you're right. If I have to guess what college football is going to do, I say it as a somewhat joke, but it would be college football-esque to either go the complete opposite end and you bring in a total goody two-shoes and up-and-comer like a Kenny Dillingham in Arizona State, or like bring in Urban Meyer and just lean into this dirtbaggery.
I like that philosophy, Tommy. You know, our Mason Crosby show's here for chaos. So we want to see chaos in Michigan. Like, every year, just some sort of like weird thing going on. Like, Michigan just needs to be the hotbed for chaos world. So I feel like it's the Big Ten. Is it? It's a cross. Like Arkansas. Who was it in Arkansas?
Petrino,
Bobby Petrino. Yeah, like. So it's all over the place. I'm trying to pin it on just Big Ten schools.
I'll pin it on the Big Ten because it's like winter and there's nothing better to do. Like, at least you can go golfing.
They just lose their mind.
We're like stuck here inside in the snow. So
like, oh man, my assistant's looking good now. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it was like the ultimate crash out of crash outs. And I'm sure, he hears this news and hears this win that they're going to fire him, and then he decides to escalate it even more so, threaten the life of this staffer, threaten his own life in this moment. Like, this is an awful situation for everything. Like, this is not just a Sharon Moore, what a terrible, like, this is a stain on college
and it's
football.
Mental health, like it's all the things that we are trying to work to prevent and be better at. And it's like, as a leader and a head coach of this program, now you just kind of like, all the stuff you probably were preaching and showing your kid, like, it makes like a distrust creeps into this space. And on the heels of Human Wednesday, like I got to get, it's just like there are, his wife and his kids, there's a family that like literally is just going to be torn and devastated, like torn apart. And so there's so many wrinkles to this. And it like joking aside, like it breaks my heart just thinking of like how he got down this path that all of this ends up unraveling. It's going to be a long road for him back into recovering from this whole scandal and devastation. I want to talk more about this, but I wonder, so Mason, you get it to the league and you have Mike McCarthy as your coach for 100 years, basically. Yeah. What was the talk in the locker room when other things would happen with other teams? Knowing that, like, whatever you think of Mike McCarthy, I think we all agree, like, pretty good guy. Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody's got a skeleton, but Mike McCarthy seems like a good guy, good family guy, all that sort of stuff. But I'm guessing you saw over while he was there till 2018, a number of cases to Feller College where a coach got into trouble or made a wrong decision or whatever. What would the talk be in the locker room about, like, coaches who did go the wrong way? Yeah, I can't remember like specific conversations, but it was always you knew we'd always have a team meeting, NFLPA, something would come up after any kind of scandal or someone got in trouble or whatever. And they'd be like, all right, let's get everyone together and let's just like say, clean your house, make sure you're above reproach, like do all the things right. And that was probably the lawyer saying, we need to get in front of everybody and tell them. And so it's like, there were always things. I remember Coach McCarthy even, it's like, you could tell sometimes in meetings, like, it's like he's going through stuff at home, where it's just like, all right, like what's going on at home in the moment. But he was always open and honest. And I think some of that is like kind of where guys get stuck, right? They're not open with like, this is stressful. I'm struggling with things, dealing with stuff. And as you hole away, that's when stuff creeps in, right? Yeah. So it's like, that's what's happening. I got to go to the Nicolay Law fan talking text line. Yeah. A 920 number says, and I'm guessing this is sarcastic, knowing the situation. Colorado has never had any scandals with any coaches, daughters, or anything. I never said Colorado didn't have scandals. Right, we said Dion. Yeah. We said Prime was doing okay over there right now. But yes, I was there during a scandal with the recruiting stuff. With one of the recruiting directors was using his card that he bought stuff for recruits on their trips and things like that to order escorts for himself. Yep. Yep. It ended up all kind of coming out that way. And then investigators revealed that alcohol, drugs, and hiring strippers were used as recruiting tools to lure prospective players to the Boulder campus. Yeah. So,
Mason, how was your recruiting trip?
I thought we talked about this last year. Yeah, y'all just want to see if my story stands up.
That's true. It's true.
Well,
I went in front of a grand jury. I had to go and testify. That was the scariest thing ever. As like an 18 or 19-year-old sitting in front of all these adults just grilling me, and like I was like, it was like I was in trouble or like I did something like seriously wrong. They're just like, you're awful. Like, why would you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, I just showed up, came to a game. My parents were there the whole time. Like nothing happened.
Yeah, it makes sense that they would not be then participating. So your story still checks out.
It still checks out. Thank you.
This job with Michigan could really mess everything up. If we just remove it from the human side, there is a real strong possibility that this insane coaching carousel that this college football world just went under could completely restart after this job.
Well, we talked about it. I mean, if this unravels the way those of us who love chaos unravels, it's literally two pieces, right, Tommy? If Kalen DeBoer realizes like Alabama's never going to love him, and he loses in the first round, they lose to Oklahoma, and he goes to Michigan. Tommy, who's the number one name who goes to Alabama?
It's Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin.
He goes right back.
And literally
because he's just staying down there and like in that area just to get to Alabama eventually.
Right. Yeah. How amazing Well, man,
DeBoer doesn't win 9 games 1 year and he's gone, and Lane Kiffin bumps over to Alabama.
By the way, am I matching Big Mike right now? By the way,
actually,
am I matching?
You love those mock turtles.
Dude, Big Mike McCarthy and I getting it done today.
I think that the other thing that could really mess it up is another good fit that everyone liked for Michigan was Matt Campbell, who just signed with Penn State, and then it restarts Penn State all over again, who already was the first team to fire their coach this year, and then took all the time in the world to hire another one before everyone else could go find another job, just to finally land on, okay, Matt Campbell's actually a pretty good candidate. Yeah. And then he could leave again, and now you have to restart over and then maybe go from there.
Do we start the Luke Fickell to Michigan rumors?
Oh,
like, do we want to?
Yeah, he's a great guy, leader of men.
Right?
Yeah, just overall,
we'd hate to lose him. Like, you got to make him desirable. You got to be like, oh gosh, like we can't afford
see the vision
to lose them.
Getting back to the human side, and Mason, you made mention of this, how like the NFL would come in and talk about things. What happened during the Penn State scandal? Like in the locker room, like, well, first of all, Andrew Corliss was on the team at the time, right? And he was a Penn State guy.
Yeah.
But was there, like, did the NFL come in and talk about that at all? Or was that like just something? What was the scuttle? Like, what did you guys talk about?
I can't remember. I know there was probably, I'm sure, like the guys that went through Penn State and were like, you know, had been there with Paterno and Sandusky and the whole thing. I would assume, and I just don't know direct accounts, but I'm sure they pulled him aside. Like, I'm sure there was some counseling. You know, obviously we had the sports psychologists and things like that, and it's just like, hey, like, obviously this is a big thing. Like, let's make sure that we're all good. You know, and then there's everyone's uncomfortable and you crack jokes in the locker room, and that's honestly to play a season and get through it sometimes. Like, sometimes you just had to kind of break the ice, and it's like all joking aside, like, hope nothing happened, but let's crack some jokes. So it was a mix of emotions. I don't remember anything like vividly, like over the top, like let's draw attention to it and make it a big deal in the NFL.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't even like think about that. Yeah, you brought up Corliss. I don't ever remember having a conversation around it with him, but and he didn't seem bothered by it's like, if anything, it's like, well, gosh, I mean, maybe I should have seen like what was going on. I think probably a lot of guys in the NFL had that thought, right? Where they're like, oh my gosh, like we were there. It didn't directly affect me.
Was preying on the weaker kids, or stuff like that.
Exactly. Like, gosh, like I'm sure there was some anger, right? Where they were like, if I had known, like, I don't know what I would have done, right? Like, I might have harmed him seriously. Like, we might have killed the guy.
Yeah. So, and what about from a recruiting standpoint then with this story? Because you're talking about how you were going to testify as an 18-year-old when you had a scandal happen over at Colorado. I don't think it's going to necessarily elevate to that type of level, but just think about it, how Michigan, I mean, there was rumors that they caught wind of this in September, and then it was basically judging Sharon Moore on his performance, even though they had cause to fire him. And by the end of it, it got so big that they ended up saying with cause, Sharon Moore is fired, but they waited until after signing day, which I don't know how difficult it makes things in the world of college football, where today you can just get up and leave whenever you want.
All of those recruits right now have the option to leave if they want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what did you ever have any option like that or thoughts like that when you were taking your recruiting in Colorado after something like this comes out?
Well, again, our stuff was so layered. Like, there were some like went deeper into, guys hosting parties and like things like that. And they were like asking all these questions. And then with how my recruiting trip was, I was like, I don't see any of that. I knew Gary Barnett was not that type of person, and he wasn't involved. Like, stand up, awesome human being. And so I once it all kind of came out and it was like clear, it was this one recruiting director that kind of almost ended up taking like the main hit for it, that he was doing all of these things for some people. I had no issue, and my parents didn't feel like, because of Gary Barnett. I know he got in trouble for making insensitive comments about the female kicker, right? And so then that was another issue down the line. But other than that, like he was just he's a good human being. Like he wasn't doing anything ill there at the university. So I had no issue staying put and taking advantage of the opportunity.
Did it affect any other recruits that were coming in?
I think we did have a
time?
couple of recruits, that kind of jumped ship and went other places. So and I think but it was different time too. Like if you were at Colorado and you wanted to leave, you had to maybe get special exemption, but you had to sit out a year.
Right.
So guys, you were just kind of, you were stuck. Even if a coach left, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Like if a coach went, you still stay for a year.
But the coach didn't have to.
The coach didn't have to.
Never.
Yeah, they go wherever they wanted.
Regular, non-athletic, regular people, right?
Yeah.
NARPs.
Exactly.
The Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We're in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, where we were yesterday. Had a blast talking about Miracle on Canal Street and all the fun stuff that go on during their season of giving over there at Potawatomi.
Nice.
Coming up next, we're going to dive into some Packers talk. Josh Jacobs, LVN, some of the injury issues going on with this team, and just some Packer Bronco preview, and maybe some history lessons with Mason Crosby. When I don't know how many times you faced the Broncos, but we'll get into a little bit about some of those past games as well. Obviously there was a big one in Denver. Where Greg Jennings had a little catch or something.
Yeah, that was my rookie year.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, I bet it was fun to be there.
Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, I was getting ready to. That was when the old overtime rules. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. You're listening to the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Mitch Nellis, Tommy Wirtz with you. We're going to get into some Packers talk, Mason. But before we get to that, I don't know if you just saw this. TJ Watt is at the hospital getting his lung evaluated.
Yikes.
Apparently he had some discomfort in his chest at practice yesterday. He's not practicing today, and they're checking his lung.
That's scary stuff.
For an injury. Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's
you think it's an injury or infection or something? I mean, like, does he have, this time of year, like pneumonia, something like that? Or is it like pain?
They think it's an injury. It occurred during treatment at the team facility Wednesday, sources told Adam Schefter.
Do you think they were doing dry needling or something, in his back, and got a little?
And they poked it because as it happened
to Tyrod.
Yeah,
did it? Yeah, because they took him right to the hospital. So, so his they don't play till Monday night in a terrible Monday night game against the Dolphins. Terrible night games on Thursday and Monday this week.
I was about to say there's not a lot of great football, to be honest.
Well, there's a great doubleheader if you're Patriots, Bills, and Packers, Broncos.
Those are good games.
And we got Rams, Lions.
Rams, Lions, good game.
That's a double TV or a 325. As much as I want to be locked in on the Packers, you got to keep your eye on Lions.
We got to watch that one.
But so just sending a quick shout out to the Watt family and to TJ, and hope it's just like something minor with his lung that they can just patch up and be okay. But
seriously, did you see that Chicago Bears game? They might have -20 wind chill.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
On the 20, a week from Saturday?
Is that
no, this week?
Oh, this week it's -20.
Yeah. Against the Browns.
Against the Browns. Oh,
my pick just got solidified on that one. My pick just got solidified there.
Yeah. Did you see it's gonna be 61 in Denver?
That's amazing. Yeah, like this time, it's crazy.
How crazy is Denver weather, by the way?
And then next week they'll get like 4 feet of snow.
Yeah,
and it's crazy there. I've golfed in whenever I went to school there, I would golf all year, and sometimes the ball would hit the green and bounce 15 feet in the air because of the ice layer underneath, the frost layer. But yeah, it's you'd get a run of 60 degrees, and then it would drop 5-6 feet of snow. My
buddy Steve, who lives in Denver, he's a Nicolay guy like me. We went to Madison together. He texted me. He's like, "You got to come this weekend. It's going to be 61." I said, "I would love to come this weekend."
You're kind of wearing Broncos colors.
I noticed that.
And Bear. it's Bears, Browns, Tommy wore Bears colors earlier. Now you're wearing.
I'm wearing Browns colors.
I'll tell you this. I had my the Lululemon shirt I wear sometimes. That's like literally Lions, Hawaiian blue or whatever. And I had to change. I was just like, gosh, I had this hat and that. I'm like, I literally look like a Lions fan. It didn't feel right.
I will not be wearing this tomorrow. That's for sure. All right. So Packers at Broncos.
Yeah.
And it's not a common matchup. They were talking about it on Inside Wisconsin Sports this morning about do Packers fans have venom for the Broncos from the Super Bowl loss back in 96, 97.
That's what you can look at.
And it's such an uncommon opponent.
Yeah.
There haven't been that many matchups. How many times did you play the Broncos? Probably just a handful.
Well, we played them. Let's see. I played them once there in a regular season game, once in a preseason game.
Okay.
And then they played us at home, I think only once with Tim Tebow.
Because you would have just played them at once every 4 years.
Once every 4 years. So I guess I played them. Twice there and twice at
but that's not enough to build anything up. Besides the Greg Jennings catch.
Well, the Greg Jennings catch, again, those were the old overtime rules. So I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get to Denver, where I went to college.
Did you have friends and people?
Oh yeah.
Colorado
people were there.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I was just like, oh, I'm ready. And then Favre does his thing, throws that deep touchdown pass right to Greg Jennings, and I felt good about that as well. But I definitely was hoping I had a chance to win that one. And then I'm pretty sure at home we smoked them when they had Tim Tebow. I don't even think it was a game. As far as my remembering playing the Broncos was just a chance to get a win. So this is a different Broncos team than any of the teams that I think we faced whenever I was there in Green Bay.
I don't even know. Wasn't that Kyle Orton? I don't even think it was Tebow. I think Tebow was on the team, but I don't
was he not playing?
I don't even know if he was.
I thought he was playing. I think he played one game.
Times,
he played one home game. I think when they came to us one of the times.
2011, does that sound right?
I think so.
Yeah, that was Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton had 3 interceptions in the game.
49-23.
Yeah,
Packers
it was a thumping.
Then in 2015, you went to Denver, and Denver won 29-10. And then in 19, it was back at Green Bay, 27-16 in 2019. I don't know who played quarterback for Denver in that game. I do believe somebody told me that. So Denver leads the series 8-7-1.
Okay.
16 games. That Greg Jennings catch was the only time the road team won.
Wow.
In the history of
or not the Super Bowl, right? Probably.
Or well, there's I don't know.
You got to think for Packers fans, and I might be wrong here, but that has to just be when you hear the Denver Broncos, it takes you back, and it's just like losing that game and like in that Super Bowl to the Broncos hurts more than any other thing. It's just like that was a Super Bowl that could have been won, and so that's why you don't like the Broncos, or that's why there might be some sort of animosity there.
Yeah. So let's get to this matchup. I know Matt LaFleur spoke earlier today. Let's see. Josh Jacobs, he's been battling through it. More than likely, he will not be out there today. We'll see how he's feeling tomorrow and go from there. We know Josh Jacobs didn't play a game earlier this year. Yeah. And we know Manny Wilson is like the fourth best running back in all of football right now.
Yeah.
Is it how important is it that Josh Jacobs plays, and or how important is it that he's healthy going into the playoffs?
I'd rather him not play this week. Okay. If he's dealing with something that he could rest a week and then be good to go for the last 3 games going into the playoffs, I'd rather rest him this week against an AFC opponent. A good defense, a good team. Maybe just give him a blow this week if he doesn't. If he is hurting and it's not something that is long term that he can recover from just taking a rest. So
it is his knee.
Yeah, I would rest him if there was any question that this could be something that blew up and then he was limited for the next couple games, especially going to Chicago here in a week from now.
I think what's interesting about the Josh Jacobs situation is when he didn't play a few weeks ago, we all knew that Emmanuel Wilson was next man up, but I think a lot of people talked about how Chris Brooks was going to be so important because he's such a good pass blocker,
especially this week against the Broncos.
Well, and that didn't end up happening in that game. That was the Emmanuel Wilson game. Chris Brooks didn't play that much, but now you think about it, exactly what you just said, Mason. How important could Brooks be in a game like this, playing against a team that leads the league in sacks?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need a good blocking running back. Probably going to see a lot of heavy set with 3 tight ends, or at least the Fitzpatrick and Wileys of the group to be able to stay in there and just try to keep this pass rush at bay. I do think a 60-degree day there in Denver helps the Packers' cause, because if it's nasty and you're playing in snow or conditions, that Broncos defense would be a lot scarier, knowing that it's going to limit what the receivers can do on their routes and what Jordan Love, just affect him in the pocket and his movement. But a nice day there in Denver. I feel like Jordan Love, just if he's on time and does his thing, should be able to, at least cut this defense up a little bit.
For the record, I want to correct myself. It's 61 in Denver now. It's going to be 55 on Sunday.
That's still nice.
Still really nice, especially for the middle of December.
I haven't looked at the wind. I have to look at the wind. I'll check it out right now.
How concerning or how anticipated is this matchup for Broncos pass rush versus Packers offensive line, Mason? It's a team that gets more sacks than anyone else by a wide margin, and they do it without having to bring a whole lot of pressure. It's a lot of their guys that are just a part of that team. And this Packers offensive line has been figured out, it feels like, over this 4-game winning streak, but it still isn't quite 100% to the liking, maybe, of some of the general Packers fans. So that feels like the line of scrimmage. I know that you say that stereotype, whoever wins that battle wins the game all the time, but really feels more so even for that this week.
Well, let's just go back to the Browns game, right? Like that defensive front and our offensive line at that time was a mess, right? They were letting things through. Like they were getting Jordan hit and sacks, like he was antsy. But like you said, in these 4 games, this this core group that has been playing together now, they look really solid. They were great against the Lions, who can bring pressure and do great things. Vikings, are exotic with their pressure and what they do, and they've just been able to keep Jordan Love clean. So I'm actually excited here with 4 games left that they're playing a team like the Denver Broncos. Because once you get in the playoffs, most of the teams you're going to play in the playoffs will have some sort of dynamic pass rusher. I feel like it's just like that's your key to getting to the playoffs. You have to have that guy. And so this is going to be one of those where is this offensive line, everything we've seen from these past 4 weeks, have they shorted up? Can they keep this Denver Broncos defensive front at bay? And if they can, I think we should be really excited for these last 3 weeks going into the playoffs.
Well, and to bring up your point, like the Browns game, a great example. He was sacked 5 times in that game.
Yeah.
The only other time that it was 3 or more was the Eagles game. So they are 0-2 in games in which Jordan Love is on the ground 3 or more times in a ball game.
Little worrisome, though, because those are the two probably 2 of the best rush teams that they've played, and they gave up quite a few sacks.
But how much confidence?
A little worrisome.
But how much confidence do you have now that the offensive line seems like? Wouldn't you, if we were playing the Browns today or playing the Eagles today, wouldn't you feel more comfortable in this offensive line? And doesn't that make you feel? I know the Broncos are number 1, but I really like what this offensive line has become.
I agree, and I think it does also. We talked about Chris Brooks. You talked about like having a mindset of who is going to help in that pass protection space, right? And I do think it's a weapon that you have 3 pretty athletic tight ends that you can put out on the field, leave one in to pass protect, send the other 2 out to try to get mismatches in coverage situations. So I think if LaFleur has a mindset of playing those games where you're trying to keep their defensive front from being able to just tee off and go, then the recipe is going to be like good for this Packers team to have success in the throwing game. How's the Broncos run defense? Are they good all around up front?
I would assume so.
I didn't look at those numbers yet.
I'm checking it out right now. Let's see. Stats, defense. They're number 1. They've 11. First of all, they have 11 more sacks than who's number 2.
That's crazy.
It's 55-44.
That's electric.
When you look at where's yards? I've got total yards. Why don't I have? What is wrong with this?
I got it.
Hold on.
Let me
What's
get
wrong
over
with
this.
this?
Hold on, Grandpa. Let me get
Where
you
am I
across the
looking?
street right here.
They're 2nd in the league in rushing defense.
Okay, so just a good defense all around. Great defense.
Yes.
And, great defense. Which I think that's good. I think this is the perfect time for the Packers team to face a really good defense and just see what LaFleur can dial up to see if our offense can be successful against a top defense like this, a defense that if you want to go to the Super Bowl, you have to get through defenses and teams like this. So I think it's a perfect time to face a Denver team that is dynamic in the defensive side of the ball.
I have a dumb question, and I'm willing to say like I'm a dumb football fan, and that's okay. Geno Smith and Cam Ward lead the league. They've been sacked 49 times. Justin Herbert 45, Drake May 40, Trevor Lawrence 32, Josh Allen 31, Jordan Love 18.
That's crazy.
That's what like
and 8 in 2 games.
Right. How is it? How are those numbers so vastly different? Like, do some teams not care about sacks as much as others? Do some quarterbacks they'd rather take the sack, try to force the play? Obviously some quarterbacks have better sense in the pocket than others, but like, how are those numbers that different?
That's significant. I didn't realize they'd only given up 18 sacks.
Well, yeah.
That's impressive. I do think Jordan, just like with what he does, how being healthy, his movement in the pocket, his ability to throw off his back foot whenever he's feeling pressure, different things. He's given his guys a lot of 50-50 balls. And I think with Christian Watson back, especially, and some of these guys, Dontavian Wicks is a high point battling type receiver. He gives them the chance to catch a ball, or he's just going to throw it away. But they're not giving up. They're not giving up like 50-50 interceptions too. Like It's Jordan Love. His interceptions are just bad decisions and throws. The 4 interceptions. So yeah, if you look at those numbers, I mean, it's Matthew Stafford and Jordan Love. I feel like, in my opinion,
Drake May.
As Drake May's there too. Yeah,
but he's been sacked 40 times.
Yeah, so
but
I'm like,
because he runs and loses a 1 yard, like gets hit for a 1 yard loss.
You're scrambling, and you just can't get out of it. Yeah,
because
interesting.
Because actually, if you look at this, so Drake May's been sacked 40 times. Jordan Love's been sacked 18, but Drake May's only been sacked for 38 more yards.
Really?
In 22 more sacks only 38 more yards. So I'm guessing a lot of those are one or two.
He's trying to
sacks.
escape and just getting tackled because he can't run.
We've seen Jordan Love lose 15 on a sack.
Yeah,
which I'm guessing Drake May doesn't do.
He's trying to keep a play alive.
Yeah.
Another interesting.
Maybe Drake May pulls it down quicker and just bails on a play a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Another interesting note just from these two defenses that are going at it, both top of the league in total points and yards. Both not very good at takeaways. The Packers have 12 and the Broncos only have 10 this season. The Broncos are also -3 in the turnover margin on the season, while the Packers are +4 during the same time frame. So while you say, Mitch, do some teams prioritize the sacks more than other teams do? These are both teams that are very bend, don't break on the defensive side and not relying on turnovers.
Wouldn't this be a funny situation? Two great defenses, and it's like a 40-34 type game.
I mean,
I could see it happening.
We've seen it, right?
Yeah, I could see that happening. Just all of a sudden, the top comes off, and it's just like a foot race to the finish with these two teams, just because those two defenses are so touted.
Yeah, and on top of it, looking at the over-under with the betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and we'll get to those even more so at 120 today, 43.5, and that Cowboys and Vikings game that everyone knows that points are going to be on the board when the Cowboys play is only 47.5, right?
Because nobody trusts the Vikings. Yeah.
Understood. Get that. But again, I could see this being a little more offensive than the defense lays it out there for it to be. But also another fun fact.
Good point.
The New York Jets are the only team in the NFL that still have not recorded an interception.
Not an interception.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I feel like you got to try to not intercept the ball at this point in the season.
They have two takeaways all year, Mitch. Two.
That's insanity.
That is
so bad. That's so bad.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. 414-677-1250. Talking about your keys to the game. Broncos and Packers, two great defenses with some pretty good offenses as well. That's why they have the records they have, matching up this Sunday at Mile High. I still call it Mile High. I mean, it's Mile
High. That's what it'll always be.
It'll always be Mile High. Justis Mosqueda, Acme Packing Company, will join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. When we come back, we'll just touch real briefly on the Bucks tonight. Again, without Giannis hosting the Celtics. Celtics are a big favorite, Mason. I don't know if you know what that number is, but we're going to unveil it on you. It's a big number over there at Fiserv tonight. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Welcome to This Day in Sports on the Mitch Nellis Show. Oh wait,
Yeah.
so that's an old cut right there.
That's your old cut? Oh man.
This was the music to this.
I went with it's perfect. I went with the Mitch Nellis high
You did. I love it.
zip.
I love it.
It's
So
perfect
this
for
was
that.
the Mitch Nellis Show was 1-3 back in the day. Ooh, Tommy's got the Brewers. He's got the Brewers.
He's
mug,
choking.
and
That
he's
just
got
looks
the
like you're
Tigers
choking
hat.
yourself out, Tommy.
This is how you guys wear crew necks and quarter zips.
You don't know
right
what a quarter zip is.
here. Mock turtles.
Yeah, so it was the very end of the 1 o'clock hour, the first hour.
Nice.
So like where we are right now, we would hit this music, we'd go down like the birthdays and all that sort of stuff. Happy
Just
birthday,
giving shout outs.
happy birthday to Radar and to ITN.
Shout out ITN and
Oh,
Radar.
nice.
Yeah,
It was my brother's birthday yesterday.
happy birthday, Reese. We
Oh,
should have
Reese.
we should have had him on.
Nah, no, we gotta get Reese on.
We
I
are
think
like-
I'm gonna have him on.
Yeah.
Y'all probably want to kick me off after he came on though.
Maybe it's
The
probably,
Reese Crosby Show.
he would go big with that.
First day after Super Bowl Sunday, Reese Crosby.
The Reese Crosby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Celtics at Bucks tonight. Bucks hosting the Celtics. This game literally just moved from 9.5 points to 9. Those 9 points in Milwaukee.
Gosh.
You know what I do love in this game is I do love the over. It's 223.5. The Celtics have like a record-setting offense right now
Okay.
without Jason Tatum, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand what they're doing or how they're doing it, but they
Yeah.
score like 140 regularly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
So
bizarre.
you're taking that over all day.
I'm taking that overall. That might be my pick today.
Oh, a little sneak preview
I
right
hadn't even
there.
thought of it, but
I
I
like
might have
that.
to go with that one. Because I think with KPJ and Rollins, the Bucks can score.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they don't have Giannis, but
I like the over.
yeah, I like the
What
over in that one.
Tommy
We'll
gonna
see.
pick either Chargers or Jacksonville game? Is that gonna be his?
Gotta be right.
I'm looking. We're
The solo game,
weighing all our. Did
Yeah.
you see
Did
the
you-
Chargers are 5-point dogs against the 6 and 7
in Kansas City. In
Yeah.
Kansas City. You
Seems
watch
like
it,
everyone trusts them.
Mason during your day off. Did you go big watching the Cup games?
What's that?
The NBA
Sorry.
Cup. The NBA Cup.
I
games?
wasn't. I didn't dive deep into them. No.
No
Yeah.
Bucks.
No
Doesn't-
Bucks. Yeah. The Bucks could still win the cup. So like,
The-
let's have hope for
The
that.
Thunder beat the Suns last night by 49. So
Jeez.
glad the Cup games are happening.
The cup matters. The
No,
cup
no.
matters.
The Thunder matter.
The Thunder are good.
They're
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, they're
So,
ridiculous. So they went in it again. Do you think they're the best?
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they're going to break the record for most wins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be
Like
fun.
they're gonna go like 75-7.
Oh gosh, that's ridiculous.
Justis Mosqueda, Acme Packing Company, coming up next here on the Mason Crosby Show. He's Tommy Wirtz. He's Mason Crosby, who unzipped a little bit. Just, a little breathing room. There you go. Nicely done. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
This shit. I don't know what's going on.
Puberty hitting
My
hard.
headphones are weird. Just trying out.
It's a tough time. They're changing, man.
Maybe you should get rid of that turtle.
Is it choking him? This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon,
I had an orange shirt under
the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We had to do it. Wait, do you have another orange shirt on under there?
It's a shirt now.
It's a different shirt.
I love it.
I can't even make that up. This is the Mason Crosby Show, and all right, everybody breathe. Come back.
That was
We're
good. I like
good.
that. That's how we need to start 1 o'clock.
These are quiet. Why are you quiet?
Maybe turn up your headphones.
Right, but like
Everything's going on over
I
there.
didn't change my headphones.
Tommy, are you messing with him?
No, I seriously cannot preach enough how little I try to mess with Mitch Nellis, because I don't need the feng shui all messed up.
Yeah, he doesn't want to mess with the radio vet. That's what he doesn't want to mess with.
Correct.
Joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. Literally with one of the best opening lines of a Twitter bio in my entire life. Mason, you've known a lot of Pro Bowl long snappers. Justis Mosqueda, the Acme Packing Company, a Pro Bowl long napper.
Oh, I love that.
Man, Justis, I'm on that same page with you. Welcome to the Mason Crosby Show.
Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Yeah, what's up? Hey, that's funny that's what your profile says, because I was going to ask these guys earlier in the show, just never had a moment to say it though. You said like a professional long snapper, Pro Bowl long napper. Like I was going to ask, like, is everyone here, are y'all more of long nap guys, or can you do like the 10, 20-minute power nap?
That's a good.
I did a 10-minute power nap yesterday. I was so tired driving kids around. I sat in a parking lot, laid my seat back, took 10 minutes, little nap, and then I was ready to roll again.
I can do that, but I would much prefer a long nap if I have the opportunity.
I used to nap when our show was in the morning, and now I never nap anymore.
All right. Fair. Sorry about that, Tommy.
All right.
So,
all right, Justis, let's dive into it, man. All right, so great win against the Bears. We replayed that, talked about that all on Monday, Tuesday. We're heading to the Broncos. What are you seeing in this game against the Broncos that, excites you a little bit, makes you nervous? Like, what's kind of your thoughts on this upcoming matchup against an unfamiliar opponent there in the Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think Bo Nix is, if we're drawing the line for what an average quarterback is in the NFL, I think he falls below that line. But at the same time, the Broncos defense is playing tremendous. It's why they're able to close out so many of these close games. I think it's probably going to be a low-scoring affair. Obviously, they, beat the brakes off of the Las Vegas Raiders this past week, but I think the Packers have, more talent than them. Should be a huge matchup. I'm definitely concerned about the whole Josh Jacobs situation. Matt LaFleur said today that he didn't think that Josh Jacobs was going to play. We got the reports from practice that he wasn't on the field. So back-to-back weeks, I know the timeline has been kind of weird about the Jacobs situation, because people are like, what do you mean? He just played back-to-back games. Well, he didn't play the week before, right, going into the Detroit Lions game, because he had the week off against the Minnesota Vikings. And then they had that mini bye after the Lions game going into the Bears game. So this is the first time he's really had to have the 7-day turnaround, right, of being able to get ready back on the field. We know it's a bone bruise that he has with his knee, and I'm just crossing my fingers hoping that he can go, because, I think it's a very different world if Emmanuel Wilson is running the rock versus Josh Jacobs.
Okay. Yeah, because we were talking about that earlier as well, and I kind of was under the impression – if there was a week that Josh Jacobs just needed, if they think like he could sit out this week and this bone bruise can like almost get fully healed, and he's like back full go for the last 3 games going into the playoffs, would that be, I mean, in my opinion, just from the football side, like I feel like that would be wise to sit him. But you're saying without Josh Jacobs, this offense might not be able to go against this Broncos defense.
I mean, it's going to be tough. Zach Allen on the inside is a real troublemaker. Obviously, Nick Bonito is having a great year on the edge. And then you have all those guys in the secondary. I know everyone talks about Pat Surtain, but like Riley Moss is nothing to scoff at either. Like he makes plays on the ball too. So it's just going to be really hard to score on this team. Again, I kind of think it's going to be like a lower scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised, like passing game wise, I think it's going to look a lot like the Steelers game where, it's a whole lot of quick game. Like we're throwing a lot of short outs, stuff like that, hoping that guys can get yak yards. Cause I don't think there's going to be a lot open down the field. I don't think this is the game that you want Jordan Love to take a bunch of shots or anything. And I'm sure Matt knows that. I mean, he's smarter than I am. I do think the one thing that really helps the Packers timing wise is getting Jaden Reed back, because he sure looked fast when he was on the field, and the Packers need yak yards, and they really have not been able to get any yak yards this season outside of Tucker Kraft, who obviously isn't going to be suiting up in this game.
So do you think if this Packers team goes to Denver, for some reason loses this game, like how does that set up for them? Like what are you looking at? How are you feeling about this Packers team if they aren't able to get this win on Sunday?
I mean, it's an away game at elevation, right, against a team that is, running for the top seed in the AFC. So I'm not sure it would change my perception of the Packers, but it would put them in a position going into that Bears game where, hey, man, you're back in the same spot you were 2 weeks ago, where you got to win this to take lead of the division. We'll see what happens with the last 2 games down the stretch, right? Like Minnesota is functionally out of the playoff race. There's like the smallest sliver of hope. Like 15 things have to go right for them to even be in like playoff consideration for that season finale game. And then the Baltimore.
That's right. Ravens, they still have like Bengals could still win the division and host a playoff game at 7-10.
Yeah, they could.
Right.
Like, let's go Bengals, baby.
I love this time of year because it's like that sliver of hope that all these teams kind of have, and then after this week, most of that's crushed.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns just dropped out of the In the Hunt graphics, if you know where we're at.
Something we talked about on the show yesterday, Mason, is maybe losing the game this Sunday isn't the end of the world, because they've won 4 in a row. If they win the next 4, and then you've got to win 3 or 4 more games to win the Super Bowl, I just feel like it's hard to end the season on a 12-game winning streak. And so maybe a loss here in the one loss non-conference, so whether it's this game or the Baltimore game, like isn't the end of the world. Justis, is there something to that?
I mean, maybe. Mason, did you ever, when you were playing, where you're like, oh, we're due for a loss, we're too hot right now? I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up, because
players are too stupid to realize.
Oh, wow. There it is.
Well,
Jeez.
the examples I brought up yesterday with
I never lost in my mind, so.
Okay, participation Mason. That's what we're going to call you.
Participation Mason.
So, but the examples we brought up were run the table, right? And relax, which were awesome runs to close out a year, Justis. But ultimately, none of them ended in a Super Bowl, right? They ended before they wanted to.
Yeah, except the year we won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like
that was the one.
Okay. So that was a good one. And I think if you're winning and you are a good team and you are just like why? Yeah, you don't want to lose a game. Like once you've won that game, like the players in that locker room are not thinking about the win streak. They're just like, all right, this is the next one. We're going to that. Who cares what happened the week before? And especially when the playoffs come, it doesn't matter if you won 10 in a row in the regular season. Like that playoff game is all that matters. So I'm for, if you're playing good ball, yes, you want to keep playing good ball. You don't want to go to Denver right now and lay an egg and then have a lot of question marks going into these last 3 games. If the Broncos are a team of destiny, they're a good team, they're 11-2 and they're playing well, and they kind of hit you in the mouth a little bit and you kind of have to like figure some things out, that might be a difference. But do you think this Denver team, and that's my question to you, Justis, we kind of got off topic. Do you think this Denver team is legitimate just because of that defense? Do you think they have kind of gotten a little lucky at times this year? But I have my opinion on luck. What do you think of this Denver team as a whole?
So this is the way I've kind of talked about this Broncos team throughout the year. I think in any one game circumstance, this Broncos team has a fighting chance to take down anyone. Now, if we're expecting them, let's say they make it wild card weekend, you got to win 4 games in a row. Do I think they can win 4 playoff games in a row with Bo Nix at quarterback? The chances are very slim. The chances are very slim. So that's kind of where I stand on it. I think they can play the role of spoiler a lot more than the role of like true contender champion.
Just like how they've won with the kicking, field goals to win game, like just kind of these grinding, like comeback victories. Same, I would say probably like the Chicago Bears, right? Like Chicago Bears could play spoiler, unfortunately, in the playoffs. Like hopefully not in the 2-7 spot, but they could be that team that kind of, spoils somebody in a 1-game series. And then it's like, all right, now they don't have a chance to get to the Super Bowl.
100%, just because of the strength of that defense. I think that offensive line is probably a little bit underrated, but I just don't think that the passing game is going to be good enough for them to go on a run. Like it's hard for me to imagine like Bo Nix going on like a Joe Flacco stretch. Like he's just not that type of a quarterback.
Well, I'd love to hear, we've talked about it a lot, but we haven't talked to you a ton. So like, I want to hear your take on Christian Watson since he's come back into the fold. Just what he's meant to this offense and the way he's playing right now. Just give your take right now on what Christian Watson is doing.
I think this is the best football he's played in his career. And I'm shocked, coming off of a ACL tear that he's performing like this. And the Packers probably are counting their blessings every single day that they signed that 1-year extension with Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably could have gotten close to the Jamison Williams money or something like that. Another good comparison is going to be whatever Alec Pierce ends up getting in the free agent market this offseason, because those guys are kind of similar players, but Watson is definitely performing better than him now. They're using him a lot of different ways, man. I mean, they're getting him in the slot. They're running the crossers, all that stuff. I mean, we saw the touchdown where he's lined up in the slot against Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And if they get like true man tells, which like Dennis Allen is going to throw a lot of, like if he's going to play man and he's blitzing, like Dennis Allen was going to show it, right? So the Packers check into that play, and they just say, hey, Christian Watson, run away from that guy. And there's few players in the NFL who run better than that dude. So I think the ability to kind of come down with those 50-50 balls and stuff like that, not necessarily in this past game, but in the month that he's been back or month and a half, whatever, that's improved tremendously, because we've seen, Christian drop wide open passes in previous seasons. And now he's coming down with the 50-50 balls. Jordan Love seems to trust him beyond belief. I mean, he's just chucking it up there at some point. It's almost, I don't want to compare it to Randy Moss, but it's like, Randy's down there, he's open somewhere, right? It's almost like that with Christian right now.
For sure. We got Justis Mosqueda from the Acme Packing Company. You can find him on Twitter at JUMOSQ. We are just talking all things Packers, specifically this Broncos matchup. Let's go to the other side of the ball, and we've talked about it early in the week, the Micah Parsons stuff. The fact that he has not had a holding penalty called on him all season long. What the heck is going on there? Like, it blows my mind. I know we talked to someone in Dallas right after he came in, and they were like, has everybody gotten frustrated that he doesn't get holding calls against him? Like, how can someone be that elite, that like explosive, guys holding him, obviously, and not get the calls? Like, what is the deal with that?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like, you guys played against like the Legion of Boom Seahawks, right? And it was every single play, they're going to be physical at the cornerback position, right? And can you throw, if you're in the referee standpoint, can you throw the flag every single time? So is it teams just being like, hey, man, we're not turning the guy loose. Like, if you get beat, come down with a piece of him, right? I don't know if it's something like that. The Packers have been.
Is it because he doesn't go down? Does he need to take dives? I mean, I'm a big soccer guy. Like, let's just eat it. Just like as soon as that guy wraps you around your neck, like throw your head back and go to the ground. Let's bring in the soccer rules.
I mean, maybe, or like Micah get real friendly with the refs, start working them. Matt on the sideline, you might want to start working him. I do think that one interesting thing is that Micah's playing a lot in the interior right now, and a lot of that is because Lucas Van
Ness,
Ness.
harder to call.
Yep, it's just a tougher vantage point, right? So like maybe if Lucas Van Ness is freed up a little bit, can come back on the field, play some of those interior snaps, and Micah can go back outside. Maybe it'll be more obvious when he's on the edge. But to be totally fair, there are some plays where he's lining up on the edge still, and he's definitely getting held.
Well, Justis, I had a question in regards to his running mate, Rashawn Gary, that you had put out a tweet about and charted. It looks like it was pressures versus rushes and how elite Micah Parsons looks on this list and how terrible Rashawn Gary looks on this list at this time. How concerned are you that he's slowed down a lot? Because a lot of people were excited to see what his production could be with a guy like Micah Parsons getting all the attention he was going to get. And it started off, he came out firing, he's at 7.5 sacks, but it feels like the argument I have to hear is, well, look how good he is in the run game all the time when he's not getting sacks week in and week out while Micah Parsons is being strangled by offensive linemen.
He has improved in the run game really over the last 2 years. But he was turning some guys loose. Caleb Williams was able to escape the pocket a lot of times when Rashawn Gary had containment assignments and stuff like that. And even when he had him one-on-one, he can't catch the guy. I am concerned. The data that I had was from NFL Pro. So that's like the league level player tracking stuff, right? That's the shoulder pad chips, all that. They measure quick pressures, which is within 3 seconds. And if you guys like time to throw in the NFL, the ball's out in 3 seconds for the most part, unless quarterback isn't seeing something right or he didn't get.
Yeah, we literally had a shot clock at practice of like a 3 second, and it would horn if the ball wasn't out before that time.
Defensive line coach yelling sack, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So, from a quick pressure percentage standpoint, there's no one in the league who gets as many snaps as Gary who performs as poorly in terms of the quick pressures. And I think you guys have noticed this for sure, like over the last 2 seasons, like this defense compared to last year's defense, like what they see from the offensive side of the ball, totally different, right? Everything is ball out, ball out, ball out. Last year, everything was disguised coverages and stuff like that because teams were holding on the ball a little bit longer. Maybe Rashawn hasn't lost a step, and he's just a bull rusher, and he's going to be later in the down kind of production guy. And maybe this is just a bad home for him right now because the world changes when you add a Micah Parsons. But the Packers certainly are not getting, kind of what they're paying for production wise, in terms of the impact from Gary right now.
Do you think Rashawn Gary's production was early in the season tied directly to Lucas Van Ness being on the field as well? Because Lucas Van Ness came out of the gate and was kind of taking up some stuff, letting Micah Parsons do his thing. And Rashawn Gary was just eaten because of all the things they could do there, and not having that third piece where Van Ness can move up and down the line and be disruptive. Do you think that hurt his production in that, whenever Van Ness got hurt?
Yeah, because, a lot of those sacks, if you look at it, Gary isn't initiating the pressure, right? He's not the reason why the quarterback is late in the pocket. He's catching those guys as they're trying to escape because he's playing left end, quarterback's rolling out to the right. By far, Micah, doesn't matter where you line him up. He's getting pressure, right? But then outside of that, the only other guy who's really getting quick pressures is Lucas Van Ness, particularly when he's lining up on the inside. So when Lucas Van Ness isn't, able to play those snaps, it really does feel like Micah versus the world on against quick game and stuff like that when the ball's coming out so quick.
For sure. Mitch, you'd have something?
I was literally going to ask that LVN question. So what impact when he's back now, or hoping he's back and back for the what type of impact do you expect to see on the defensive side of the ball if he's out there?
With all the stuff that the Packers have been doing the last 2 weeks, they're running sim pressures where, they kind of highlight it in the broadcast where Micah Parsons is jumping out, right? And then, hey, we have 2 guys screaming out coming free because teams are trying to over-index on Micah Parsons. Well, now you're adding a guy who can win a one-on-one in Lucas Van Ness on the interior. The pressure rate should just jump through the roof, especially if, again, I don't want like the we got the Broncos this week, right? But the Bears the week after. If you can get interior pressure and you could still flush Caleb Williams from the inside with Lucas Van Ness, but now you have Micah Parsons lining up on the left end instead of lining up on the interior, and he's able to catch Caleb Williams fleeing the pocket instead of running around Rashawn Gary. That game looks like a whole lot different, right? Because Caleb Williams wasn't, standing in the pocket delivering the football. That's not what he was doing. He was escaping, running around, trying to hit the sideline, running it up or throwing off platform.
Yep. All right. I got to ask, what's your prediction for the game this weekend?
Low scoring. I'm going Green Bay Packers. I just think that the quarterback difference is what makes the difference there. Definitely less confident in that if Josh Jacobs doesn't suit up, but I just think the quarterback advantage is just too wide.
Who's a better coach right now, Justis? Sean Payton or Matt LaFleur?
I mean, let's go Matt. Let's pump him up a little bit. He got a lot of hate early on in the season, and he's adjusted and done well. So let's give it to him.
I'll take it.
All right, nice. Well, anything else, fellas? I appreciate you, Justis.
I don't know, Justis. Since we haven't had you on the show before, like besides Packers, where do your sports allegiances lie?
Ooh, I like
baseball, basketball. Like, do you have any rooting interest in those sports?
Baseball. So I wasn't a big baseball guy growing up, but if you can imagine, I'm a West Coaster. If you can imagine, there's a lot of Dodgers fans right now. So I have a lot of Dodgers fans in my life. I know, I'm that guy. But no, I mean, Oregon Ducks and the Trailblazers, who are not doing very well.
Well, the Trailblazers. Okay. All right.
Wow, all right.
Not doing great, but you know what? If you're still a fan of the Trailblazers, it means you're a real fan of the Trailblazers.
Oh man, I'm like a mile away from Moda Center. I can't not like if I could walk to the arena, why wouldn't I be a fan? Yep.
I love that.
Yep. Dame time. That's
I'm
right.
Back.
Well, at least Oregon's got the right colors. So, all right. Well, Justis, thank you so much for jumping on today. We'll definitely catch up with you as the playoffs get closer into the playoffs and keep our eye on the Packers, everything going on with what you got going on at the Acme Packing Company. And of course, I know you just recorded a podcast with our bestie, Andy Herman. So we'll all check that out as well. Justis, have a great day. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Go Pack, go.
All right. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Justis Mosqueda, Acme Packing Company. JUMOSQ on all the socials, and follow him and get all the stuff. He's working on great stuff, like Tommy said, breaking down Rashawn Gary and Mason. I think I think we've seen a big difference with LVN out, and I hope, as we all do, right, that if LVN comes back, that we see that switch flipped again, and that it really does make a difference that they actually get home against quarterbacks, not just the pressure that we see every week, but actually getting home.
Yeah, and you got to, like with Devontae Wyatt getting hurt too, like you need an impact player in the interior of that line without having to always have Micah Parsons, rushing up the middle, even though he's really good and gets a lot of pressure there. It's just still harder to get sacks. And then, like he said, with Caleb Williams, if Micah gets pressure up the middle and he flushes him out, who's on the edge to go and chase him down? Like, just very few guys can. So you have to try to get somebody else getting interior pressure so Micah Parsons can do his real work on the edge there.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. 414-677-1250. We haven't asked for this before, but I'm going to throw it out there. If you have a gambling guarantee for this weekend that you want to throw into the Nicolay Law Talking text line, like, we'll keep track. Like, we're terrible.
Jump into our picks with us.
Mason Crosby needs a solo pick.
Right. Give me a solo pick, please. Anyone, hey, throw your solo picks. Yeah,
it's been a little rough around these.
Yeah, Mitch, right? Yeah, 2-10, right?
After being after riding high, I thought I was hot. I was getting hot.
Yeah.
Then I go down to Tennessee for Thanksgiving, and it all falls apart. I blame the balls.
Just got a little lazy with it.
That's right, exactly. So we will make our picks, including the Packers Broncos game, when we come back here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Go Pack Go Green Bay Packers.
It's time for the boys' weekly picks. Hear who they think will win the big games this weekend. Just don't trust them. It's weekly picks with Mason Crosby, Mitch Nellis, and Tommy Wirtz.
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
That's the best. Mace, real quick, how's basketball practice going?
We had a good week. Yeah, learned a lot from the game, and just implemented some rebounding and some different things.
Do you think the girls realize, like, after playing a game now, like, what a game is like?
I think so. I think it'll help. Yeah, another game at 11 on Saturday, so we'll be ready to roll.
Right. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. This is the Mason Crosby Show. We are on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, live in Green Bay, Milwaukee, Wausau, Duluth, Superior, and everywhere where you can listen to your podcast. There we are. Just search the Mason Crosby Show. Smash that follow button on the Mason Crosby Show.
Smash it.
Yeah, smash it. Speaking of smashing it, the man is smashing us right now. We are not smashing the man. Tommy, how are we looking on our standings with our weekly picks?
Yeah, the standings have tightened over the last few weeks.
You're welcome, by the way. You're welcome.
Right now in third place, Tommy 35, 42, and 3.
Yes.
Mason Crosby 36, 41, and 2. Mitch Nellis 37, 40, and 2. So
and
one
2 and
game.
10. So I was 35 and 32. Now
you were 30. 30 and 2.
35, 30 and 2.
Yeah, you had a 5-game lead.
That is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Tightening up now. It's we're getting close to playoff time. We better get our games right.
Yeah, what better week to do it with Army Navy this week. One of the best spectacles in all of sports that is on our pick list this week. However, before we get into it, Boise State, Washington playing the same day. Why are we doing that? Like
they're starting the bowl games on Saturday. Yeah. Boise State and Washington are playing a bowl game on Saturday night.
Just leave it. Just let it be Army Navy.
Just let it be Army Navy.
At least it's Saturday night, so it's kind of out of the way.
I guess, but it's fraudulent. I would rather
it's a little. Fraud.
I'd rather just see Army Navy, and then that's my fix of football.
I agree with you.
I don't hate that take, Tommy.
Navy 6.5-point favorites, and I will rock with the Navy as well during this. They are 23rd in the CFP last poll that they did, and shout out Grandpa Jim. I'm going with the Navy.
Nice. So
I think Navy let me down last year, but
I think you did.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to roll with Navy again this year. I love them both, but know a lot of people from at the Naval Academy. There's a couple people that I know that are actually going there, and then have some family that was in the Navy.
My dad and my stepbrother, both Army men, but my grandpa on my mom's side was a Navy SEAL before there were SEALs. He was a frogman. In World War II. So I got to go Navy as well. Navy minus the 6.5 in that game. I mean, Navy should take care of business there, I feel like on the football.
They should. Yeah. I mean,
feel like this
wasn't it like a big, it was like Navy should have won big last year.
Yes, they should have. Yes,
they ended up losing.
Yeah. It's a game where the troops get up, right? Support the troops.
I wonder what happens the year that Navy actually isn't 23rd, but is 13th. And like, the outcome of this game after the college football playoff has been announced, how does that affect things there?
Interesting.
If Navy was in contention,
that's crazy. They're 9-2.
Right?
They're a good team.
I mean, if they flip those, if they're 11-0 entering this game, are they just in the college football playoffs regardless of winning or losing?
I just can't believe after Luke Fickell gets fired and 3 years later, it's way more likely a service academy gets into the college football playoff.
I mean, would you take Navy against James Madison right now? I might.
Yes.
We should have called Coach Calhoun to see what he thinks for this game over at Air Force. So
right.
He was the best.
Yeah, well, he's due for another visit on here. But all of us rocking with the Navy. Then we go to the NFL to start the rest of our picks this week. Browns are at the Bears, and like you said, the negative 20-degree wind chill. Is that an equalizer, Mr. Crosby?
It is for me. I'm gonna take the Browns to cover that number. Just at that negative 20, feel like it's gonna be nasty. That Browns defense, Garrett's gonna get 3 sacks or at least run Caleb Williams all over the place, and he's gonna throw up some picks. So it's gonna be a grinder out game. I think the Browns keep it close. I do still think the Bears might win that one, but I think it's gonna be a tight game.
Yeah, 7.5, right?
7.5.
Yeah, I am echoing Mr. Crosby. I think the Bears win. But I'll play with that 7.5. Like, you're not playing with a couple points, so you're playing with a full touchdown.
Yeah.
And I think the Bears win the game, but I think the Browns keep it close enough that they are relevant and cover the 7.5.
I think Shador, I don't know how good he is in the cold, you know. I
Oh.
think maybe a little Texas boy, like out on the West Coast, like shiny watches, like that doesn't necessarily give me faith in the cold. And I was going to take the Browns, and then you two both took them. So I'm gonna rock with Chicago
All right.
to cover 7.5. I would love it a lot more if it was 6.5. I feel like that's a number that would be much more enticing, but I'll say Ben Johnson's going to have something to prove after losing to the Packers. So I'll take the Bears.
All right.
Okay.
Go.
All right.
Next game, Lions at Rams. Rams are 5.5 point favorites in this one, and I will go with the dog. In this game, I think the Lions are fighting for their playoff lives, and the Rams, a little bit of a letdown last week. So I'll continue that and say that the Lions are going to at least cover the 5.5 in this one.
I am going to agree with Tommy. I feel like there's a lot of agreeing today going on. I think that this one devolves into a shootout of sorts. And I just think it's like touchdown. You know, probably goes over that 55. It's probably like 34-30, something like that. The team could even get into the 40s in this matchup, as we've seen in the past between these two teams. When they just run up the scoreboard. But I think it's one of those where teams up by 4, teams up by 3, teams up by 4, teams up by 3. Just a lot of touchdowns, and I'll take the 5.5 points. I will take the Detroit Lions.
All right. Well, I'm going to go opposite. I'm going with the Rams. Giving up those 5.5. I think they're so good. I think this Lions team. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're going to do to finish the season out. So I think the Rams beat them by at least 6 points. But I think it's a touchdown or more.
Over under half a touchdown, Devontae Adams.
He didn't have one last week.
Over.
Nakua had 2 last week.
Devontae scoring in this one.
I agree. Devontae scored. He better.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, absolute stinker. Vikings at Cowboys in this one. Cowboys are 6.5 point favorites. Mitch Nellis, would you like to start on this one?
Sure, I'll start this one. Vikings at Cowboys. I think we saw JJ McCarthy his play as well as he ever can last week. And I think that in a game where he needs to actually put up offense, he's not going to be able to. Like against the Cowboys, it's not the same as playing against the Commanders when you're playing from the front. I think the Cowboys will score points. I think the Vikings will then struggle to. I think it'll be turnover city. And I'm taking the Cowboys minus I know you got 6.5. I know Potawatomi it's down to 6.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's
6 as of right now.
Yeah, that one down. So somebody must bet on the Vikings down there at Potawatomi. But I'm going to take the Cowboys minus the 6.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to roll with you there, Mitch. I think the Cowboys, especially at home, are just going to be able to score points. They're going to be able to move that ball. And I just don't think the Vikings can keep up with them. I don't think JJ McCarthy can replicate what he did against a horrible Commanders team last week. So I think the Cowboys run away with this thing, win by at least 10 points.
Right. I don't think the Vikings defense is really good enough to stop Dallas on the offensive side. But if, like what you're saying, Mitch, if this game's a shootout, like the Vikings are screwed.
Yes.
They're totally screwed
what I'm
in this game.
Yep.
So I agree with that point. I love that. I'm going with the Cowboys as well. And then we go to our solo game. Again, all betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Pick your favorite bet that you like over there from over the weekend. Mitch Nellis, do you have yours already?
I do have mine already, but before we get to that, I do want to point out, interesting that the Patriots and the Broncos are both underdogs at home this week. Just like an interesting quirk of the schedule. The two teams with the best record in the NFL are both at home and both are underdogs. Part of me wants to take the Patriots. Part of me,
that's the one I've been looking at.
I'm not taking it.
Why do you think they're underdogs to the Bills after beating them earlier in the year?
I know it's just because of the past 4 or 5 years of history, people still believe in the Bills and they just don't believe in the Patriots yet. I think after the Patriots win this game, they will believe in the Patriots. And I do think the Patriots will win this game. I teased it earlier in the show, and I'm going off the board. And if you want it, you got to do it today at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am taking the Celtics Bucks over in the game tonight. They are playing at Fiserv Forum. Let me double check, make sure it's still 223.5. It is 223.5. I think this one could get to 250. I think this could be like 130, 120.
Okay.
And unless Doc made some significant defensive changes in the past week because the teams have been off during the NBA Cup, I just think that this game could be a high-scoring affair. And if it's not, I'll come on the show tomorrow and I'll tell everybody I'm an idiot and I was wrong.
All right, I hear you.
Yeah, so that I'm taking the over in Celtics Bucks.
That's a big over.
Yeah, it is. But I like
a big
it.
one. Okay,
Yep.
I
Tommy?
might just call myself an idiot today
Oh,
with my pick, but I am this pick segment hasn't gone necessarily as smooth for me this year as it did last year. But last year there was something different than this year. And last year, Phillip Rivers was not playing football. This year, Phillip Rivers is in the NFL again. And I still, regardless, 14 points in Seattle when you already know the Indianapolis Colts game plan is Jonathan Taylor will get the football the entire time. I'm expecting limited possessions in this game, and all Jonathan Taylor has to do is break one run in this game, and I think the spread is right back into it. So I'm going to take Indy at plus 14 against the Seahawks in Seattle because it's just like there's a little bit of like storyline in there if Phillip Rivers is playing the NFL script. You know, Mason knows all about it. So
yeah,
I'm going to take the Colts to cover 14.
Okay,
all right.
Is Rivers going to start this game?
It is not confirmed.
Gosh.
No idea.
And I actually, during Mason's extra points, I have a Phillip Rivers question for you, Mason.
Okay.
Will you ever have as many children?
I like that. No. I can answer that.
You got close. You got close. You did your
I tried my best.
You got like halfway there. You weren't even close.
Not even close.
That's a lot closer than most of us, Tommy.
Fair enough. Mr. Crosby, your solo pick this week.
All right. Gosh, I'm so bad at solos this whole season. I'm cursed by my my ridiculous Yannick Center pick, and it's just cursed me the rest of the year. But I'm going to go against my my Nashville, Tennessee Titans, and I'm going to take the Niners to cover the. I see it at 12.5. Is that right? I'm going to take them to cover 12.5 against the lowly Titans.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't win that game by more than 2 touchdowns, then I just feel like then I'm not sold that the Niners are that good of a team anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then that means all we have to do is pick this Packers game, and again with the line courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, the Packers, as we are picking it, are down to a 2-point favorite over the Denver Broncos. Heading to the Mile High Stadium. I'll kick it off. And I will say that I like Green Bay in this game. I do like them, and I think it's a much more important game than people give it credit for. To say, you know, it's an AFC team on the other end, you don't play them very often. This is like right now, the Packers are riding a super high momentum. Keep it. This is a huge game to just keep that rolling, be competitive, to show that if we beat the top team in the AFC, well, all we got to do is handle business in the NFC down the stretch, too.
Yeah.
So I am riding high with Green Bay to cover the 2 points. And I will say that the Packers put up 24. The Broncos put up 19 in this one.
24-19?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, it's crazy looking at the Broncos schedule and their scores. I mean, how close some of these games have been. I mean, they only maybe have 3 games that were more than like a touchdown difference. I mean, it's tight every game against this Broncos team.
Yeah, I actually because I wrote it down. I've got 24-21 Packers.
Okay.
So tell me, if they win 24-20, who wins the tiebreaker there?
Price is Right rules, me.
Yeah, I figured you were going to say that. All right, I'll go 24-21, which means I have the over and you have the under. Because it's 43.5.
Right on that line, right?
Yeah, right on that line.
There it is.
But I'm taking the Packers. I actually think I'm going to go. I like to predict the actual ending of the game as I do every week.
Yeah.
It's going to be 21-21. And McManus is going to bang one through at the buzzer.
Ooh. All right. Yeah, he's going back home. We haven't even talked about that storyline. Yeah.
True. Yep.
Going back. Sean Payton wanted him out of there. So that's why he was gone. So he wants this one bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to do the same. I'm going Packers. We're going to just keep riding with them. I think offensively, they're better than the Denver's offense. I do think, and I'm going to do a Mitch Thunder Nellis ending type of situation.
Nice.
Going to give us a little drama just like there against the Chicago Bears. My prediction is 20-14 Packers. Denver is going to have the ball with a chance to win the game, and the Packers are going to seal it with their defense.
Man, up 6. That's always scary.
I know. Man, it's a scary one.
Yeah, Brandon's not going to be able to breathe.
No.
Brandon Snide will be having a heart attack.
We're all on the Packers. Colts, Niners, we are taking them, me and Mason, while Mitch Nellis rides with the over in Bucks basketball tonight. Cowboys are going to dominate the Vikings. Lions, Rams should be interesting with me and Mitch Nellis on Detroit. Mason gets somehow the number 1 team in football all by himself on his bets.
I know what's going on there.
Browns and Bears, the cold could be a factor, but I'm still going with Chicago. And don't forget to support your troops. Navy Army.
That's right. This is the Mason Crosby Show. We'll come back to wrap things up with Mason's Extra Points. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis. On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right. Thanks for joining the Mason Crosby Show today. It was an awesome one, fellas. Two things I get nervous about in retirement are picking my solo game on Thursdays and coaching 8-year-old girls basketball.
Yeah,
so
that sounds about right.
That's pretty much all I get nervous about now in my life,
Nice.
which is
That must be
nice. But I'm like, why do I like focus and get so nervous on
Tommy,
these
what
things?
can we create in Mason's life to make him nervous about something else? I feel like we need to put more pressure on him.
Those are the important things to me right now.
I agree.
That's what I'm locked in on.
I think that if he wanted, I could make his life more nerve-wracking.
Oh, for
but
sure.
Why would you do that?
Right. I don't want to do that. So
I have a quick question.
What would you do to make my life more nerve-wracking?
Oh, I could demand more. I could get.
You'd be more demanding.
I could be more demanding.
Okay.
Mason, did you see that Daniel Jones gave his number
I saw
to
that,
Phillip
yeah.
Rivers? What did you think about that?
I mean, I think that was fine. I mean, he's on IR, and Daniel
I
Jones
know.
is probably like, I'm not going to be here next year.
Right.
Like he's
It's true.
he is an unrestricted free agent, so that'll be interesting to see what ends up happening there. But I think it's a class move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
real class
both
move.
listed as number 17 because they're both still on the roster, even being on IR. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
Philip Rivers
really
should have
nice.
been number 44.
That would have been great.
That would have been
quarterback
cool.
wearing
Yeah.
44 for
Yeah.
his age. We have some guys in our Sunday morning basketball league who wear their age
Oh, that's
as
nice.
their number. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got
What's
like
your number?
I'm 0.
62.
Oh,
I'm 0.
yeah, you
I'm
are.
0.
Yeah, you are. Of
Come on.
course.
I've been 0 for a long time.
I love it. I love it.
You know what? Another banger of a show, Mace.
Heck yeah. It's Thursday. I'm excited for this weekend. It's going to get cold here in Middle Tennessee on Sunday, so I'm going to be just locked in watching football. Let's get to Sunday as quickly as possible.
Agreed. Amen. We'll do it again tomorrow. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. And we're in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Thursday, everybody.
It's Thursday. Oh, man.